Okay, the coronavirus. Here's what we know. It was certainly avoidable. We know that we've lost Mr. Lee, an established ophthalmologist who put his life and career on the line to expose the coronavirus, which at the time was secluded to a seafood market. Mr. Lee and other staffers met obstruction from Chinese law enforcement agency, who literally forged a document and forced Mr. Lee to sign a statement publicly going against his previous beliefs of the dangers of the spreading of the coronavirus. Okay, so we have a lot of talk about this being a calculated plan to control the population, but what it really was a cover up. And it's becoming a plague to us, unfortunately. The cover up came in because you had the Chinese law enforcement who didn't want, the fear of Chinese nationals just, running around in panic. Okay, like people are doing now, buying all of these masks, which is unnecessary, but we'll get to that part later. Right now, just wanted to focus on Mr. Lee, who was a outstanding person, and I just want to say rest in peace to him. I know that his mother and father were sick as well. I don't know if they have passed. I hope not. There were also other staffers involved in trying to expose this, and it's a shame because had they listened to him instead of worrying about covering up the information, we would have had this secluded to one area. The people would have been able to, been treated, and instead we got chaos. There's a video that I will include the link to in the description box, and it just shows you at the beginning the chaos that a doctor was experiencing. He really had a breakdown, and it was very sad. And I'm pretty sure that would happen here in my city, which is New York, because so many people are constantly coming and going from all directions. So we really hope that this is gets under control really soon, and we really never want to forget Mr. Lee, who lost his life so unnecessarily, and he is a hero. He's definitely a hero because if it wasn't for his voice, we wouldn't have had the information as early as we've had it. So, as far as I'm concerned, we are in debt to China, but I think that all debts is paid with this right here because even though they stepped in and they're doing their part now, it's like if they would have just, listened to Mr. Lee and honored the people that they educate in their countries to do the right thing and trust them, we wouldn't be going through this. But I made this video because this is the awareness channel, and what I wanted to do is focus on people with pre-existing conditions. I wanted to get the information out on how you could protect yourself, and that's one by doubling up on your vitamin C. Your immune system is your only line of defense. That's the only thing that you have. Okay, so vitamin C and cinnamon is a plus for the respiratory system because we know that the coronavirus, excuse me, I'm fighting a cold myself over here, which scares the mess out of me, but I'm full of vitamin C and cinnamon and other things. But we know that the signs are fever, difficulty of breathing, coughing, and shortness of breath. And the reason why I mentioned cinnamon is very good, for the trachea and our if I'm saying it right or whatever. I don't know, it does very well for the system and it helps with breathing, especially people with asthma, excuse me, not asthmatic, but people with asthma. Cinnamon is very good for that, and citrus as well. Oranges, eating a lot of oranges is good for the respiratory system. So the cinnamon and the oranges is good. Oranges are also a good source of vitamin C. But you could take supplements. I would encourage everybody to take supplements now, vitamin C supplement, on top of your fruit eating or whatever else, your vegetables. Take a supplement because you want your immune system to be as strong as it can be. And you must stay away from sick people. You have to avoid sick people. Like I have a cold. I'm doing my best to kind of not be in anybody's face or whatever, but you want to stay away from sick people because that once you catch a cold, it's like that's like, putting a little pressure on your immune system. And with something going around, you definitely do not want this. There hasn't been any verified information that has come out stating that this is an airborne virus, but it is my opinion on the Ray Ray's awareness channel that it's airborne because it spread too quickly. We've lost 3,100 people across 70 countries, 3,100 deaths, and 100 cases have reached America, 6 deaths in Washington state. So, like I said, we have a case here in New York, one case, and I don't know, but anything could happen. So we're not out of the blue yet because they don't have enough information on the coronavirus as to how it's really spread. But anybody with pre-existing conditions definitely need to focus on your immune system. So that's people with diabetes, heart disease, asthma, bronchiolitis, anemia, sickle cell anemia, HIV, AIDS, emphysema, COPD, lupus. That's just to name a few. You definitely want to stay away from sick people. If you have any of those pre-existing conditions, stay away from them and boost your vitamin C intake. You can also do that if you're not a person who likes to eat vegetables. You can get the little green smoothies. They are delicious. You can also yeah, that's pretty much it as far as like the liquids. Taking in a lot of liquids, juice, orange juice, vitamin C supplements, and green smoothies. Those are things that you could ingest to kind of help boost your immune system. Another thing you can do if you have to take public transportation, you might want to invest in a box of excuse me, gloves. You definitely want to invest in a box of gloves, and maybe you put a pair on as you're traveling until you get to your workplace, because we all grab the poles, we touch the bell, you got to stand up, you grab the seat, and for some reason people have this disgusting habit of just like sneezing on whatever's in front of them, or just like sneezing out in the open and like it's okay. They don't bother to go to the elbow. You take it in, you bend that elbow at the 90-degree angle, and you sneeze there. You don't sneeze out into the air, but people will do that, and people have another nasty tendency to sneeze on their hands, and then they go and touch the doorknob, or they go in the grocery store and they touch the apples, or they go, someplace and they just put their hands on stuff after they've sneezed on it. The building in the building complex where I live, we have the handle doorknob, so you have to bend it down. I just call it the community doorknob, but a lot of times if I can, I try to use my coat, on my sleeve or something to avoid just touching the doorknob, because I've been downstairs and I've seen people go and sneeze right on their hands and touch the doorknob with the hand. And that's how things get spread. So hand washing is important. As soon as you come in, the first thing you do, you take your coat off, wash your hands thoroughly. Sing happy birthday and wash your hands. Make sure your children, if you have children, teenagers, make sure that they're washing their hands. Another thing you could do if you have children that go to school, you can get disinfected. It could be Lysol or any type of disinfectant. And what you can do is spray the outer layers of their backpacks and keep those backpacks in one specific area. That's what I do. I use doorknobs. I assign 2 doorknobs for backpacks, one over there, one over there. Coats, you could also, we spend money on, our things, and we don't want to damage them. But I don't think, a little bit of Lysol, depending on the material of the coat, may not hurt like a down coat. Maybe just not close up on it, but maybe stand back a little distance and spray a little disinfectant in the area around the coats. Let them sit for a while and then hang them up. Some people have the rack. We're kind of clumsy around here. We go knocking into stuff, so I opted not to do that. So I just use closets to hang our coats up in. So, I let them sit for a while and then I hang them up in the closet. So that's just a little something you could do there. It's really not too much. But the mask, you don't need a mask unless you're like me. You have a cold. Like I should have a mask on so that, I'm not, getting anybody else sick, or that if I cough, which I know how to cover my mouth, but if I cough, my germs are not being spread amongst other people. So I'm a person who should actually have a mask. If you're not sick, the mask isn't protecting you from anything. Most of you are using those very thin masks, which particles could slip right into anyway. So you're really not doing anything at all by buying up those masks. It's a it's more of a fitted mask that you have to kind of tighten around your face. Those are the ones that kind of keep everything out. I've seen maybe like four people with the right mask. Everybody else is wearing those little thin blue masks with the little white outlining, and those aren't protecting you from anything. So you basically waste your money. Your hands are very important because you touch everything. So the gloves are, it's just a suggestion from me. If you have to, be on the train, public transportation, you might want to put gloves on because that'll be the time you might have to stand up and hold on to that pole. A whole lot of nastiness be going on in the trains. Okay, so that's all I wanted to do is just try to bring a little awareness and pay a little homage to Mr. Lee, again, who was the whistleblower on the coronavirus. You can find information out about Mr. Lee if you haven't heard about him on CNN. I'm going to link a video in the description box. Um, Also, too, one last thing. If you're in a movie theater, you can ask the manager to like kind of keep the movie theater cool because cool temperatures kill germs too, and that's something that supermarkets and hospitals, any place that hosts a lot of people during the day or in and out with a lot of traffic, you might want to keep the temperature cool inside because that does kill, a lot of germs. So I just wanted to talk on the coronavirus quickly. Don't panic, but be safe. Don't be irrational, but be safe. Understand that people get colds. Don't go crazy if you see somebody coughing, but try to keep your distance or whatever. And if you're one of those nasty people that sneeze out in the air and sneeze on your hands and touch everything, stop doing that, okay? You making everybody messed up. All right, I'm Ray Ray, guys. I like to bring awareness, the conversation, the hopes that it sparks change.